Welcome to Section 31, episode number 331. I'm Dan Hammond.
And I am Rogue Schindler.
This week we're joined by two guests, two of my colleagues from the design team that worked on Broken Bow. Welcome in. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Are you there?
Who's going first?
You are. Go.
Yeah, go on, Neil.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm Neil Matthew. My handle on the forums is Executioner. Eh? This is my first time designing a set. Hi.
Very good.
I'm Paddy Ty, aka K's on Pad on the forums. This is my second set I've designed. The previous one being the 50th anniversary set.
All right, so a couple of the cards have been spoiled already. We'll try not to go into too much detail, the ones that haven't been, although, if I'm not mistaken, Rogue, we've got two more to give out today, right?
We do, in fact.
Fantastic. All right. I did post that you were going to be joining us, and there were a couple of questions in the designer Q&A specifically for this, so why don't we start with that? Between the two of you, well, we already got asked about what our favorite image is, but have you had a chance to look at some of the cards that I posted today? The mission and the objective are fantastic looking. I always like missions. I like doorways, missions, time locations.
Big images.
Big images, yeah. How about you two? Patty, start with you.
Well, Escape Gulag is a conversion, so I sort of knew what image was coming.
But gotta say,
it always looks so much better on a 1E template, though.
Yeah, I know. Because you get the full frame and everything behind it instead of just confining to that little box. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the big icy landscape for Operate Dilithium Gulag as well. It's a beautiful card.
I gotta add the card. I'm looking at the file. The card immediately to the left of Escape Gulag.
Oh yeah,
that's got some extra added stuff on there, and I really appreciate that. That's fantastic. So when the set comes back, you can take a look at that one. That's number 32. How about you now?
Let's see. I'm just looking at the file just now. I'm just trying to get the number of it. It's one of the Universal ships. I'd go for 86V. I just think it's quite an interesting angle to go for. I really like that image.
Oh yeah,
it reminds me of in when they did second edition, they took all those pictures of the ships from weird angles, but this fits really well. I like that.
Yeah, it really suits it for a 1E template. Yeah,
right on.
And I don't think it's a ship that people will expect. You think?
I think if you look at the history of the starter decks, it's kind of one that you should expect, right? If you're following the lines. All right. The other question that we had, well, it was a question about Suliban making an appearance. I don't think we're going to answer that, but are Enterprise fans going to love the set or just be okay with it? Were you two Enterprise fans coming into this?
It wasn't top of my list of Trek properties, but there are certainly people out there that loathe Enterprise. I find it enjoyable. I particularly enjoyed the fourth season, and there's some great episodes in the second season. So I'm not a massive Enterprise fan. I'm a massive Trek fan, and that's just a part of Trek.
I didn't quite have the same power as you, Paddy. When I got when Dan gave me the shout and announced that I could join the team for Enterprise, I was like, shit! I've got to binge watch Enterprise, and the first run through of binge watching it was painful, but then I binge watched it again, and I actually started enjoying it. So yeah, designing this set made me like Enterprise. Thank you. even season 1 and 2, but not all the episodes.
Rogue, where is it on your list of properties?
You know, I didn't hate the show itself so much as I hated the wasted potential. So the show itself is fine. There are some really good episodes. There are some really not good episodes. It's not the colossal, just irregular, inconsistent screw up that Voyager is. But so it kind of beats it out there. But there's so much more they could have done with Enterprise. But I will say, looking through what we've seen of this set so far, it brought up good memories of Enterprise. It made me want to play, because I'm like, Starfleet, but some of the stuff in here is like, this is interesting, this is fun, this reminds me of some of the interesting parts of Enterprise. I'm excited to play this.
All right. I've already blown through all the questions that we got since I posted that you guys were joining us. So, what else should we talk about? We've got, like I said, we've got a pair of spoilers to do. You want to jump into one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right, sounds good. All right, let's look at Rogue. Do you remember which one?
It's 63V and 73V.
All right, 63V. That sounds like an odd one. Yeah,
it is.
That's an odd one. All right, so this pairs well with another card or another couple of cards, right?
Oh.
Yes, it does.
I was concerned that we weren't going to be able to get a good picture of this, but this is another image I like. This is a 3 integrity, 1 cunning, 1 strength personnel. So we've got another animal.
We gave you a top quality card to spoil there, didn't we?
Yeah, well, this is an osmotic eel, something from Phlox's group of animals there.
So naturally, it has the Enterprise property logo.
Yep, 22 icon, AU icon, no staffing.
Gee.
You forgot to put the staffing on.
It looks like a staffing icon.
That is true. It actually looks like a staffing icon.
That's pretty good. So it has lore aquatic member. Well, aquatic. I wonder if that's going to be a term that we. Never mind. Aquatic member of Phlox's menagerie, female osmotic eel with wound sealing capabilities.
It's the game text where it really gets interesting.
Yeah,
particularly against some not favorite parts of the game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say Art did a good job of squeezing this on here. It is a 3-line template, but even so, it's a little tight. So once each turn, where present, may nullify 1 tribble. I guess it eats it. I don't know. Or prevent a 22 personnel from being disabled or placed in stasis. So what kind of effects would that be helpful for against?
Fucking tribbles.
Yeah,
tribbles. Obviously. I'm trying to think of a stasis effect.
There are a handful of dilemmas that do say they disable somebody instead of stopping them or killing them. What was that? Rogue Borg, I think you said. Puts them in stasis.
Sorry, whale probe.
A whale probe. Oh yeah, whale probe. Wow.
Well, although if that's also puts the osmotic eel in stasis, I'm not sure what it'll work.
I guess Wow, I don't even know. Why didn't that come up in testing? Let's see if I can share this without giving away too much. Go
That
ahead.
would be
Keep going.
interesting, though, if you have a personnel, because all you really need is one person for a lot of those Starfleet ships. You only need one staffing icon. So if the eel can prevent one person from being stopped, that's enough to get you flying past that location and on to away from the whale probe.
Sure.
That's going to be an interesting question.
All right. Let me try that again. I didn't do quite what I wanted. There's also an additional line of text which I'm rather fond of, and that is reports free to Phlox or Mordan 4.
Where is Mordan 4? Is that where it's from?
It could be.
It's an invented home for it. So
Well, I mean,
it has to come from somewhere.
it has to come from somewhere. Mordan 4.
How do we know he didn't invent the thing?
Exactly. Now I got to search for it. Mordan 4 is.
I'm searching for it as well. And yeah.
Mordan 4. There we go. Oh, it's the alien labyrinth planet.
I'm looking through the missions. I'm like, is that one of these?
I think it's one of the 25-point missions from the 2-player game.
I believe that's correct.
Sounds like
wow.
it. Yeah.
No, it's not coming up. I don't know why it's coming up on the link. I'm fairly certain it is indeed a 2-player game mission that doesn't see much play. So
Let's see, card search engine.
frantically opening them up. No.
Yeah, I'm just whipping
There we
the
go.
2-player
Hostage situation. It is indeed a 25-point Federation
Hostage.
or Klingon. Hey, Federation or Klingon. That matches the set. Since Starfleet can do that kind of thing. And it's a simple 2 security, medical, integrity. And you can play a free osmotic eel there. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool deal. So our second card is another personnel, a little less complicated and new and interesting, but definitely the addition of some not common skills for this affiliation.
Yeah, let me get this set up here on. This is
Is this the 20 guy?
73, right?
73.
All right, I'll share this and I'll let you read this time.
So this will go back to what I'm going to say is the series finale of Enterprise.
Jeff Riker.
Because they tacked on that stupid fan fiction episode at the very end for some reason. But this fairly decent finale was good, and it starred RoboCop as John Frederick Paxton. And interestingly, he is still a Starfleet affiliation. Which I don't know about. I know he was the leader of Terra Prime, which was a human-only organization. So he is certainly Earth-based. I don't know if his affiliation is necessarily, or his loyalties necessarily lie with Starfleet as an affiliation. So that's an interesting. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, there's been a big argument as to whether the affiliation should be Starfleet or should it be United Earth.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I'm sure he's Starfleet in the same way that a lot of the premier, Federation members or humans happen to be Federation. He's probably closest.
Yeah.
He could be not aligned, I guess, but he fits in the bucket
as well.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, it does give from mechanically, as I mentioned, it does give Enterprise or Starfleet rather some crossing things off the bucket list because he's a VIP, which is not something they have a lot of, and he is got some treachery, obviously, for his character arc, and another big point that I see right away is greed and cunning greater than 8, which is another pain point for Starfleet, getting stuck behind the Chula the game. So a lot of good bucket list things to cross off for Starfleet. We'll give you the whole picture here. VIP leadership, geology, because of his mining experience, of course, biology, I guess to weed out the aliens, engineer.
I think it's probably more because of the genetic engineering for breeding and triple
That
to
works
evolve
too.
baby.
Yeah. Biology or exobiology, yeah, that works. So geology, biology, engineer. So there's the genetic engineering, 2 treachery and greed. So that's a whole bucket full of skills. A lot of buckets going on here. And to go with his treacherous nature, he's got an integrity of 2, cunning 8, and strength of 5. So no special skills here, but a lot of regular skills that are going to help them with some pain points. The lore here, we've already mentioned to collect info, 73V. His lore is fanatic who served as chief administrator of the Orpheus mining facility, leader of Terra Prime, demanded aliens comply with evacuation orders. So he does have a lot of regular skills there. It would have been interesting, I think, maybe to have him, I don't know, it seems oddly not thematic to have him work with the Enterprise affiliation Starfleet, where their kind of theme is
more
all of the aliens working together.
I think it's more appropriate that he works with the Starfleet humans rather than being non-aligned and can work with literally any alien. Because being a bit of a xenophobe, he's not likely to want to work with those.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And also with the lore, that the lore was set pretty early in development, and later on I thought, no, we need a RoboCop reference in there.
There was a fair amount to say about him already without it, and so we rejigged it a bit, and we managed to make sure we used the words served and comply in there. So
I did catch that. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one among us that has never seen RoboCop?
Get out of here now.
Yeah, wow. All right, I'm going to pack this and give it to you.
Yeah. Very good. All right, well, that's why I'm on that.
Do you still have a VHS player?
Oddly enough, I do. All right. So those are the 2 spoilery cards. Some Klingon stuff was released today and yesterday. The first cards that we put out for the first article is kind of a just general note, but we also got errata for the Enterprise for Enterprise and the battlecruiser Bortos to match it. What do you guys think about the cap, the limit on the +5?
The +5. Well, I played against a stupidly high Enterprise stat deck back in February, and it did need some curbing. I think I answered on the forums about it. Why the +5? And I think we had originally tested it lower, and I think I prefer it at the +5 level. You can get it.
You'd be killing the card otherwise.
Yeah, you can get it fairly easily to range 13, same as a future Enterprise. And going above that did seem silly.
And you've got other cards as well, like Straight and Steady, which can boost up the attributes. So
yeah,
and Space Boomer, things like that.
Yeah, that seems like a good choice, especially with, when it first came out, obviously there were only a handful of cards, and so they needed as much help as they could get. And there's all these other things that boost it now. I've been on the giving and receiving end of this ship being obscenely large, and it can get pretty ridiculous. So this is probably a long time coming.
Yeah, when you've got a ship from like 2 centuries before you see a Borg cube actually being able to destroy a Borg cube,
Yeah,
yeah,
something
it's
wrong
got
with that.
changed.
All right.
So I have a
Yeah, go
question
ahead.
for you guys. I've been trying to think of something that I can ask that isn't going to spoil, half a dozen other cards. So just looking at the cards that were spoiled today, I really like the mechanic of taking that the escape gulag, which is, quote unquote good guys on one side, or trying to get their people back on one side, and then the Klingons on the other, but flipping it around for your own use. How did that come about? Did you guys have that planned from early on, or was it something that came about along the way?
I think that was Dan's invention. We were talking about putting an objective on there because we'd
with
originally tried using
alternate requirements, but
we'd originally tried using what's it called, the one that Koth downloads, forced labor camp.
Yeah.
And tried to sort of manipulate the card draw around that, and we thought, okay, this isn't really doing what we're doing. We have to change an awful lot here to make it fit. Let's just create a new card to play on and do this. I think at that point when we did that, we looked at the mission, and rather than giving it alternate requirements for Klingons, Dan just thought, let's just flip it.
Yeah, we were going to do something, similar. I think as a conversion, we've done that in the past, where the one side is, one set of requirements, and the opposite is the other set of requirements, because that kind of works, and then you can use, one of the tools of that artifact to flip it around. But that's not really, that's not really reliable, unfortunately. I guess more so now that you have the station to get it early, but it seemed like a mechanic that we could use, and it's it's pretty simple. So you just spin it around, and now yours is the other side, and your opponent's is the other. And it's an optional download, so if you want to play the escape side, you can play that as well.
Hang on, change, remember.
What was that?
It's not download anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've got an old version here, don't I?
Yeah.
Yep, that was the version from...
These were the last minute changes you mentioned briefly in the forums.
Yep. So this is incorrect. I'll have to go to the forum image instead. Now it says when seated. Now it doesn't say anything here. This text is gone. Yeah. So please ignore this highlighted text.
The objective now just seeds instead of plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it essentially lets you get
because it can be done.
A Rora Penthe personnel.
Right. So
was that thought to be too powerful?
Yeah.
That?
Because look, you got as a comparison, Duck Blind and what's the other one that turns on? Ancestral
Vision.
It's in the Delta Quadrant, right? They both require
take a seed slot.
Yeah, they require a seed slot, number one, and they require a certain set of skills. Some either wide anthro or very narrow.
A very specific set of skills.
Very specific set of skills. Yeah, so you have to play Qui-Gon there. No. But they don't give you the tools and the means which to also download that personnel and play them there.
Oh,
so,
you just slip something.
Oh, yeah. So you don't want to get anything. We didn't want to make it too free to make everything happen at once here. So now, if you want to seed, if you want to play with Operate Dilithium Gulag, you got to spend a seed slot for it.
That makes sense.
There's plenty of rewards for doing it.
Yeah. But it fits in line with other draw engines. I think, however, it would still. I mean, I was putting in a mission with the Duck Blind and a random pair of anthro personnel just for the card draw in a deck that didn't even want to do that mission, right? I think there will be people, once you see the rest of the cards, that might think of doing similar here. But anyway, apparently I've said too much.
So what you're saying is without spoiling anything else, that I might enjoy this so much that I would put Repente, like the way people would put Armis's planet in and then never attempt that. I might put Repente in so I can have Operate Gulag and never attempt that mission.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And you would have been more inclined to do it had we not changed it to be a free.
I was gonna say, yeah, even
Yeah.
more inclined.
Yeah. So now it's a seed slot,
Leaving
which
a
I think is-
mission, you get a card draw.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Right.
one thing I do like about Operate Lithium Gulag is that it's not specific to Enterprise. We're not on there requiring at any point for it to be using 22 personnel. So this whole games text can apply again when Undiscovered Country rolls around, and it can essentially do the same thing if we create a prisoner personnel from that era, say a prisoner Kirk or something.
Yeah.
Hey, that one looks much better. That has much better graphics and no game text that shouldn't be on there. So that's beauty.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oops. All right.
Not oops, that was a deliberate glimpse into the design process.
Yes.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Not a fuck up.
All right. Well, any other damage we can do?
Spill the whole set while we're at it, yeah.
Well, since we we're already on the road of spoiling the thing, without actually talking too much about the card and the mechanics, can you guys each give us one? We can go by collector number if you've got it in front of you. What do you think your favorite card ended up being in the set, either mechanically or story wise or something? What that just really you took up with?
I will go first. Let me make sure I'm not sharing anything right now. Okay, I'm not.
You're not.
So I can zoom out. There was a card that's an incident, and it used to be called something else, but now it's got a fun theme to it. It's number 23V. I think it will make people's brains hurt, which is fun.
It's made my brain hurt already.
But I don't think it'll show up. Well, I don't think everyone will use it. I think a few people will try to use it, and it'll be interesting and cause some interesting game decisions.
Very
Decisions.
interesting.
Man.
Right?
You know, there was something similar in TUI once upon a time that was popular for a while, and I hated it then, and I think I'm going to hate this now. It's because it's such a hard thing to decide.
All right. How about you two?
8V for me. One of the dilemmas.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, it's just constant references to a particular Scott Bakula.
You just. I also like this image on something very similar. There's a TUI card that's very, very similar to this image that doesn't see a lot of play, but I really like it. I think if we were making, back in the day when you'd get like 18 foil cards from the set, I think this would have been one of the foil cards. Just because the image
was
popped so much. Yeah. Oh, was it? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have one.
Well, then I would. I'm going to cut up that card and paste it on top of this one.
Oh.
Wasn't it Matt Kirk that cut up an old 1E wormhole and pasted on top of the 2E wormhole?
Yes.
Just so we could have a 2E foil. Yeah, I would do that here. That'd be cool.
I also love what's the number of that one? 14V.
Yeah, that'd be cool foil.
Although the social media manager is not pleased about what we're doing to his homeland.
Yeah.
It's also hard to argue with the image on 19.
Yeah, I was thinking of. Well, yes, also that works as well.
2/3 of 19.
2/3 of 19. Yeah.
um,
I
for
also really
myself,
love the title on 26.
Yes, that made me laugh a long time.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty good.
I just wonder how many people will get a certain reference to it. That kind of sounds like something that people would say in my accent, but it's a variant on a different card title
Yeah, it's just the
from
Scottish
a different
version
set long
of
ago. Yeah,
a card from Premier.
That's true.
yeah.
Mhm.
We'll have to be shouting that at Gen Con.
I'll probably be shouting at Florida, so
Yeah.
Mm.
expect some nonsense. I'll be there. Don't forget that. I think my favorite one's probably, well, you've taken two of my favorite cards already. You've already said two of them. But I'd probably say another favorite of mine is already been spoiled, Search and Seize.
Yeah, that's a nice
That
one.
looks.
I think that it's probably one of the most seamless ways of capturing and attempting a mission that has ever been done.
I like the way that worked out mechanically. The idea of, okay, we're going to give you a tool, but we're not going to steal from the opponent, right? What they've already spent resources getting in play. It could be potentially something, right, that was important, but you get this bonus from attempting a mission, right?
Yeah.
Overcoming a dilemma, which is something you should be doing,
Yeah.
and it can give you a bonus to what mission you're going to be doing next, if assuming you follow the expected pattern.
Yeah. And like you said, you're not punishing what's already on the table. Like, it's just blind luck. It could be like, I don't know, a boar queen that you capture. It could be their only isomag that's in their deck that you discard. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good fun. I'm also a fan of 65, which has been spoiled. Shobi How, just because I'm a big wrestling fan. So it's great to have the big show finally appear.
Yeah. That 15 strength is going to be, someone's going to put together, that away team of like 6 guys that have 60 strength.
Well,
the Royal Rumble deck.
A mate of mine is actually trying to put together a deck of either people played by wrestlers or have similar names to wrestlers. So obviously there's Clang, there's Pandari Champion, there's Shobi Ha, and then there's also, I think he said there's there's Rollins, so that could be Seth Rollins,
Hogan, the Voyager.
Yeah, Hogan.
Yeah.
So there's a few names out there that you can try and put together. Although you got to admit that the Hogan they've got is nothing like the.
Yeah, it took me a
Hollywood
little while
Hogan.
to figure out what the heck you were talking about there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is shaping up to be a really fun and interesting set for an affiliation that kind of was tacked on as an afterthought as far as the Decipher era of 1E is concerned. I think this is really the affiliation that has been most shaped by the continuing committee era. And it's interesting to see that continue here with this additional this addition to not just Starfleet but the 22 era as a whole. So but this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like to see the completion of the Warp 5 program. We started in the 50th anniversary set and managed to sort of conclude now by adding the shuttles and making it a workable deck design.
And someone mentioned on the threads as well that they're happy that it's very different from a full complement of shuttles, which we were aiming for. So
Yes.
I'm
Good.
glad to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because
I'm
there's one thing we need is nothing to be like Voyager.
I'm looking ahead to what looks like the spoiler schedule. Are we? Do you know if the icon on this dilemma is going to be detailed before release day, or is
I
that part of
don't
the
know.
release day
I
fun?
was going to ask. I was expecting it to be in your original article, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, maybe he's coordinated with rules to do something different, but I don't know. There's no article plan that I'm aware of, so I think we need to fill that hole.
Or sporadically spread throughout the 2 weeks, though. But
Well, there's like I've alluded to in the Q&A, there's baggage associated with it
Botany
that,
Bay.
that we need to get shaped up and ready to go. So it's going to be yeah, Botany Bay. Oh no, yeah. So
Oh no, is the reaction we're going for.
oh no is a reaction we're going for. And this particular card, every time I see it, I'm going to yell out faux pas, and and then oh no, Botany Bay. But yeah, okay, very good. Then
I do love that faux pas is the first card with urination written on it.
yeah,
Another first for our design team.
Absolutely. Where
that's
do
what
they go to
happens
the
when you
bathroom in
get Brits
space?
involved.
That's
One of the playtest titles for a card that didn't make it into the set was Neil, keep it in your pants.
Oh yeah.
Neil, yeah.
and it wasn't faux pas.
all right, let me turn off my screen share here. I think that's about it. We so there's a lot of fun cards left to be released, of course. And as we build up to it, I'm looking forward to answering more nonsense questions in the Q&A. No one's asked about how many hats there are, but I think that usually gets asked as one of the weird, how many hats are there? I think we've seen most of the hat pictures with the exploration card and Archer with the stuff on his head with the chainsaw. That's going to be about it. So I don't know if there are any more.
Should be hard, possibly.
Or is that his hair, or what the hell's that on his head?
I don't know.
Is that hair?
It's some kind of.
It's also like a metal skull cap thing.
Yeah, it's a hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
a steel hat.
Yeah, let's go with hat.
There are a couple of gray-looking guys with attachments on their head, but I don't think those are hats.
No, hats need to be able to be removed.
Right. All right. We won't call those hats then.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's just wrap this.
All right. Well, thank you guys for. I know this is a weird time jump for you guys. Thanks for coming on and chatting about this. Hopefully, we can do it again after this is released, and when we can talk a little bit more about the actual some of the cards that we can't talk about right now.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely enjoying the ramp up for this. I'm looking forward to putting some of these together. Unfortunately, our local tournament schedule is not cooperating. We have a 1E tournament the weekend before this comes out. So we're not going to get to use it.
Me and
right
Neil have
away.
got a Masters tournament on Saturday coming, and we were really hoping it'd be ready.
Yeah, we just missed out by a week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the upside, that means that everybody in our area will have some time to look it over, get them printed out, and put it together. But I do always enjoy now and then trying to spring new cards on people and see. All right, who hasn't bothered to look at the new set yet? Here, maybe I can get away with something.
Yeah, surprise them with the Botany Bay.
They're like, what?
Yeah, usually dilemmas are the easiest thing to spring on someone because it was like, oh, is that what that does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I should use that.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, this looks like it's going to be a great set, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. So thank you guys for coming on. And I am going to have to actually put the deck together for our tournament next week, which is, as I mentioned, 1E. Dan, are you think you might?
I'm hoping to join on Saturday. We'll see. We've got to maintain the trend of going 1-2 in these tournaments.
That's right. That's our 2017 pattern. All right. That means that we've got some work to do, so we should probably wrap this up. That's all the intelligence we have this week. So I do want to thank our guests, Neil and Patty, for coming in, but we'll have to get some more about that after the set's released. In the meantime, I am Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your power in the universe.
And I will draw to end.